Hello, people. Welcome to another edition of A Dose of Drew and another edition of Friday Night Knives. This is going to be a quick video, mostly because I messed up the short. I had never tried to do a review in a short, and it cuts it off somewhere about right there when you do that. So it really kind of screws it up. I uploaded it for the fun of it anyway. But let's do a quick little rundown on the difference between here, because the Raccoon is, in my opinion, one of Vosteed's best designs in their entire lineup, and probably their best original design outside of the Nightshade series, and especially the mini Nightshade. But the Nightshade is based and is an homage to the Shilin cutter, a Taiwanese Shilin, something like that. A Taiwanese knife that is very, very cool and was handmade, and is much more like, sort of like this one where it has a nail nick and stuff. Very, very cool. But it's an original take on an old design, and this, you could almost argue these are too, but far more of an original design and one of their best. The ergonomics on this and the way it works in the hand, along with the shape, just the very nice tidy shape that provides, close as well as the utility open, makes it great. Have a whole video on it. They have a new blade shape, and it's this sort of sheep's foot cleaver. I think they call it a cleaver on the website. Very similar, has a little bit different profile because of that snub nose, whereas the drop point sort of meshes in nicely. There's so much of a little dip with the snub nose there versus the smooth drop there. See, that's about the biggest difference. The other thing, strangely enough, we'll grab this here real quick, is a weight difference. 2.98, 3.06. You're like, wow, well, let's talk about what that really means here. So here is 86.8 grams and 84.6 grams. 2.2 grams. Or wait, yeah, right? Yeah, 2.2 grams. Oh, there's another gram somewhere. 86.8, 84.6. 84. Somewhere around 2.2 grams. That's the difference. When you say it as grams, I think it makes it really show up just how much less it is. In fact, it's so much less, I will tell you what I think it is, because there's not any really more significant machining on the inside. It actually looks, you might not be able to see it very well due to lighting, but if you'll trust my eyes, it looks like it's approximately the same amount of milling and all that stuff. The biggest difference between these is the height of the grind. If you look here, see if I can get it. You can see that that's really, really not a whole lot on the drop point. It's a little bit thicker on the cleaver, but there's a swedge that starts out. While it's thicker, it makes that blade a lot thinner all the way out towards the tip. And even out with the swedge at the tip, it takes a significant amount off. Even though it's got a slightly lower grind, just a tiny bit, approximately, in fact, we'll get the measurements on approximately the same blade stock. But let's get some measurements just to be sure. So 2.89 millimeters. Let's do that in inches here real quick. One 4.5 3 times. 115. 114. 115. So let me try one more spot here to get 1145, just to get one more of the same on this one. 1145. Same blade stock, right? Several measurements just to be sure. Took a little bit, but essentially there's enough 1145s, 115s, 114 and a half thousandths or whatever. That's the same blade stock. This one has sports a brand new work sharp edge, so that is not factory edge. The factory edge was good, as is the one on this. That swedge pretty much accounts for all of the difference in the blade mass, I would think. In fact, they both fall quite nice. But it does seem like there's a little bit more in this one, but that's because there's still a bit more mass out at the tip, even if there's less mass overall. There's less mass here, but maybe a little bit more out at the tip, so it has a different leverage. So it's hard to tell by feel, but I believe that's the biggest difference between the two. This isn't a special review. There's not a substantive difference between the two except for the blade shape. And I can tell you the Vosteed's quality is pretty good, and it is just as ergonomic as the drop point. So yeah, quick little review on that cleaver point. Really a very subjective point for anyone who wants to, if you're trying to decide which one, I'll tell you, whichever blade shape is better for you in EDC will be a good choice. These are both really good knives. And again, the Raccoon, on a little short here, if you haven't seen the video, spoiler alert, it's one of Vosteed's best. So definitely, in my opinion, for this channel here, Vosteed's Raccoon is definitely one of their best overall EDC knives. And now they've got a well-known EDC style of blade on here that just does a lot of good work. 14C28 and steel on both. Takes incredibly good edges. You can make it razor sharp and polish it up, or keep it as this one is. This is the 800 mesh. And then the ceramic to hone it with just a few strop and then a quick strop. On 14C28, and that produces a ridiculously nice edge for most EDC. I definitely like the workshop. I would like it a little bit lighter on the micron, but the 800 grit is okay. It's a difference of a few microns, which in the end is still pretty good. So yeah, quick little review on that, as well as a comparison. It really is basically the same knife with a different blade. There's a slight weight reduction of somewhere between 2.2 and 2.4 grams on between my two. That's well within just production variance. That's just a couple of grams. It's right around 3 ounces for the knife. To me, a couple of grams here and there is probably well within production tolerance, depending upon how much paint they put on. But yeah, there's with the liners and such, it's pretty clear that they did a very good job. So I'm going to go ahead and end this short little video there. This has been your dose of Drew. Take this video, watch it twice, comment as much as you like, be mindful of side effects. Remember to like and subscribe. This has been your dose of Drew. I am said Drew, and you guys have a great rest of your night.